Hello, year 5 and year 6, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to carry on exploring facts about ancient Greece, and today I'm taking you to Athens and Sparta. So be ready. So for today, you will need a pen, a pencil, a ruler, and your topic book. Or if you don't have your topic book, you can use maybe your English book, the back of your English book, or any book that you think would be convenient to record today's lesson. Once you're sorted, please write the LO for today. So LO, compare Greek states, Athens, VS, which means versus, Sparta. Please make sure you've got a capital G for Greek, the capital A for Athens, and the capital S for Sparta. And then you can underline the LO like you would do in school. I don't have a date here for you because I don't know when this video will be published. So please add the date for you. So as you can see here, our lesson about Athens versus Sparta is part of our global theme, rights and responsibilities. And if you remember from last week, the big question for this term is how do we make our voices heard? So last week, we explored a bit more about ancient Greece. We tried to see where Greece is and what happened 2,500 years ago. So from now on, we're going to have more specific questions like today, we're going to compare Athens versus Sparta, and maybe you're going to decide whether you would have loved to be an Athenian or a Spartan. So let's start. To start with, I would like you to make the following grid in your books. You will need a pencil, a ruler, and to copy the grid as it is. Now, as it says here on the side, make sure the boxes are large enough as you will have loads of information to write in these boxes. Now, in this lesson, we're going to explore location and compare Athens to Sparta. We are going to compare Athens education to Sparta education, and the same for city life, army, and the city-state government. Now, you might also want to explore a bit more on your own. So feel free to add maybe 2 or 3 boxes if you want to do more research on your own. So take some time and make sure you've got a neat grid. Remember, for that, you need your ruler and your pencil. And again, make sure the boxes are large enough. Take your time and I'll catch up with you very soon. Well done, year 5 and year 6. I'm sure you've done a great job drawing your grid. So let's get started. I'm going to show you different slides about location, education, city life, and warfare. And then we will watch a video as well. So I would like you to read each slide, and as you read, to complete the grid. For example, if you're looking at the location, okay, where is Athens, where is Sparta, and then you're going to complete facts in your grid. Obviously, you will have to pause when it's relevant for you, so you've got time to take notes. So I'm going to play the video and make sure you pause after each slide to record facts in your grid. Here we start. So this is the first slide about location. So location of Athens compared to Sparta. You might find important information that you want to add to your grid. So pause the video to have time to complete your grid. Next, we're going to compare Athenian education to Spartan education. Again, read the text, pause the video, and complete the grid. We're moving on now to city life. And again, it's a comparison between Athens city life to Sparta city life. As you've done before, read the text, pause the video and complete the grid. Here, it's about warfare. Again, pause the video and make sure you complete the grid. Well done, year 5 and year 6. I'm sure your grid is almost full with all the information you probably got from these slides. Now we're going to watch a video, and same thing, it's probably full of information as well that you want to have in your grid. So as the video plays, pause the video and add information to your grid. Here we go.
Have you ever heard of the Greek city-states of Athens and Sparta? They were the two most powerful city-states in ancient Greece. However, their lifestyle, government, economy, education, and treatment of women and slaves was completely different. So listen up and tell me, which city-state would you rather live in? Let's start with Athens. Athens was located in central Greece and became large and powerful through trade. Their capital city became the center of art and architecture. The Athenians liked to travel and built strong relationships with other city-states. They also became the leading naval power in Greece. On the other hand, the Spartans' way of life was very different. Everything was built around the military. They produced soldiers. Their city-state was isolated and they were suspicious of outsiders. They valued strength and simplicity and literally just took what they needed. Let's talk government. Athens was a democracy, and all free men, 18 and older, who were born in Athens were citizens and could take part in the government. The government was made up of two groups, the Council of 500 and the Assembly. The Council of 500 was randomly chosen every year from all citizens over the age of 30. They met daily and ran the day-to-day business of the government, and also suggested new laws. The Assembly was made up of all citizens and met every 10 days. They debated and voted on laws proposed by the council. Every citizen had a right to speak at assembly meetings, and Athenians were proud to take part in their government. Spartan government was an oligarchy, and the power was held by the Council of Elders. The Council of Elders had two kings who inherited their positions and shared power. 28 other members were elected by the Assembly. Elected council members had to be 60 years old, from a noble family, and served for life. Sparta had an assembly like Athens, but the real power was held by the Council of Elders. The male citizens that made up the assembly had very little power and could only vote yes or no on laws proposed by the Council of Elders. The Athenian economy was based on trade. Athens exported honey, olive oil, silver, and pottery. For wood from Italy and grain from Egypt. You could find anything you needed at the agora or marketplace in Athens. People used gold, silver, and bronze coins to make trade easier. In contrast, Sparta's economy was based on farming and conquering people. Spartans used the people they conquered as slaves, or helots, to grow food for Sparta. Non-citizens, or pariakoi, were free men who crafted goods for Sparta, like shoes, cloaks, iron knives, spears, and pottery. Trade was difficult for Sparta, as they used heavy iron bars for money. You're probably watching this for school right now, and education was important to the Athenians too. Producing good citizens was the main purpose of education, so it only applied to boys. From age 6 to 14, boys went to school where they learned reading, writing, arithmetic, and literature. Books were expensive, so boys had to memorize everything. Physical education was important too, and boys participated in sports such as wrestling and gymnastics. They studied music and learned to sing and play the lyre. Today, we'd say that Athenian boys had a well-rounded education. At 18, Athenian men began 2 years of training, so at the age of 20, they were ready to begin their careers. Girls' education in Athens was a different story. They did not learn to read or write, but hung out with their mothers and learned to cook, clean, spin thread, weave cloth, sing, and dance. Sparta's education was built around strength and discipline, and reading and writing weren't valued. At age 7, all children, yes, even the girls, were trained to fight. They learned wrestling, boxing, foot racing, and gymnastics. At age 20, Spartan men were given a fitness, military, and leadership test. If they passed, they became Spartan soldiers and citizens. Men lived in the barracks where they continued to eat, sleep, and train until they were 30. Okay, ladies, if you lived in Athens, you'd be married by age 15 to a husband that was chosen for you. You couldn't own or inherit property. You couldn't vote or attend the assembly. Your job was to manage the household and raise children. Man, would your life be different. Spartan women lived a simple life and had more rights than most. They were expected to be strong and ready to fight when their men were away. They could speak freely, own property, and remarry if their husbands were gone too long. Slaves were common in ancient Athens. Many were skilled craftsmen, clerks, teachers, and household managers. Others worked on farms, in factories, or if you were really unlucky, the silver mines. In Sparta, there were more slaves than citizens, and they were treated harshly because the Spartans feared they would revolt. However, they could marry, sell extra crops, and buy their freedom. Okay, who's it going to be? Athens or Sparta? Are you looking for freedoms or the military? Democracy or an oligarchy? Trade or farming and conquest? Are you looking for a well-rounded education for boys or physical education for boys and girls? Do you want to live where women run the households or where they own their households? Would you treat your slaves fairly or live in fear of them revolting? It's your choice.
Wow, year 5 and year 6, these videos was packed with full information on different subjects like education, democracy or oligarchy. So lots of facts I assume you've added to your grade. So let's go back to the beginning, and we talked about location today, education, city life, army, government. Maybe you added some facts about slaves, about women and their different roles in Athens or Sparta. And this is how we're going to conclude today. So just before we finish this lesson, have a look at some key words I've added here, and maybe you want to use some in your grid already, ready for next session. So I've added here democracy, king, naval fleet, warriors, festivals, creative, luxury, mountains, Peloponnesus, education, military, soldiers, obedience, slave, women, men, children, foreigners. And I'm sure that through the videos and the slide, you probably have more vocabulary. So before finishing today's lesson, have a look at all the words you can add to your grade. Well done, year 5 and year 6. So this unit about Athens versus Sparta is not finished. I will catch up with you soon for the second round.